walks of life, different things happen to you, right? You went to work. You experienced all those things on the left side. Maybe you still do. You put away a whole bunch of money, right? You jumped into a few deals that you thought might work. And maybe it didn't work. Maybe you got let go from your job. Maybe all these different things happen. I don't know, right? Right? It could be relationships, it could be whatever. And then you come back, and then when people start asking you about your JMG business, right? Immediately you go back into your history, right? And you pull up all these things, and then instead of looking like this, you look like that. You come off as really angry. You come off as extremely angry. You don't intend to be angry, but you're constantly waiting to battle. You're like, when are they going to ask me a question about my past? And I need to explain why this happened or that happened or that happened. Building and maintaining. A references to relationships. Okay? Because the same thing that happened in your business, same thing, business and all that, corresponds and correlates to relationships as well, right? There's certain, let's use this example. Let's use this example. At one time, I broke up with myself, right? I'm done with you. I'm done with you. You don't show up. You don't support me. You don't love me the way you should, right? You don't compliment me. You think less of me. You see right through me. Don't make me happy. I'm gone. I'm gone. And then you keep going back to that person, right? Everybody's had that relationship. Let's put the joke on Chow this morning, right? You know, because every once in a while I said that I was a bad boyfriend before I was a good boyfriend. And I was not so good of a husband until I was a good husband, right? It's all relative. As we learn, go through things, and we get into better relationships because of it, right? But you don't go backwards. You don't go back because the person you are today is much different than the person you were 10 years ago, right? And a lot of times, as you get better, you start going, you know what? I'm a better man today. I'm a better woman today. I'm gonna go back and show that person that I'm a better person, better man. And then you go back, and then that person hasn't changed yet. They didn't recognize you then. They're not gonna recognize you today, right? Your triumphs, we were looked at, will be sneered at, right? Even your failures, they'll be laughed at. They'll celebrate your failures, and they'll sneer at your successes. Because if that person didn't recognize who you were then and your potential and love you the way you are and all that could be and could come from you, right? They're not going to recognize that 10 years later. Why are you going backwards? Right? So as you build new relationships, why do you bring those things with you? Why do you bring those things with you? Maybe your heart was broken at one time. Maybe you were treated poorly at one time, right? And I'm just going to hit it, and I'm going to hit the little soft part, you know what I mean? Because relationships are tough. They're tough. If you get married, oh man, and when you say that, when you say those vows, whoo, gets even tougher, right? Right? And you bring all things with you. Maybe there was emotional abuse. Maybe there was physical abuse. Maybe you did things to yourself, and then you're like, oh man, you bring all those things, and then you get into a new relationship. It's like kind of scared at really opening up and building this new relationship with somebody, because one, I'll be exposed. All of my frailties, right? You don't even think about your strengths. You think about your frailties first. Like, man, are they going to hurt me? Because so-and-so hurt me, right? You touched fire and you got burnt, right? Someone forgot to tell you to not touch fire, not play with fire. And then you went and got burnt. Maybe someone did tell you don't play with fire. You went and play with it anyways, right? Right? Fire wasn't meant to be, burning you up. It has a lot of uses. Keeps you warm, cooks your food, does all these things, right? As you build these relationships, you have so much to offer. And as you look around, right, as you look at me and I'm talking to you, man, it's like I get goosebumps thinking about my life, and I just want to take the picture in my head and go, Baba! And then you're like that too, right? But I can't do that. The only thing I can do is communicate, right? And paint this picture for you. And what holds back, right, is if I go, will they see what I need to communicate? But you can't see that if this whole wall, of fear is right in front of me, where I go, man, it's like, I don't know if I can build these new relationships, Because to be honest with you, like, I didn't like being in front of this room for the longest time, because I was really scared about what questions you guys would ask, even though you guys can't ask questions when I'm talking, right? But the thing is, your mind starts asking questions, right? But then the moment I stop thinking about myself, now I want you to write this down. The moment that I stop thinking about myself, and start thinking about you, I started living on my calling. Someone said one more time. The moment that I stopped thinking about myself and I started thinking about you, I started to live out my calling. Because I'll tell you what, I am an entrepreneur at heart. I am a business owner. I absolutely love it. And when you are a business owner and you ask for your time freedom, what are you doing with your time? when you ask for a business, what are you doing with your business? Because business owners, they don't, you know what? Our dreams, our passions, our goals, the things we want to acquire, the things we want to do for our family, it's all in the back of the head. We put it on walls, we put it on our phone, we do all that, but constantly, we're thinking about the people we're working with. Isn't that right, Brother William Lockett? Right? Thinking about the employees, what we can do, what is the vision, bring it next step, how can we communicate this better, right? Right? As we're going through all that. So then as we're doing that, let's go to Proverbs 14:29 real quick. Whoever is slow to anger has great understanding, but he who has a hasty temper exalts folly. Let me break that down a little bit here, all right? Whoever is slow to anger has great understanding, right? I'll go back to my baby real quick, right? Because we all love babies. Not ones that so much look like that, but we all love babies for the most part, right? Right? My baby doesn't know how to talk to me yet. I like to think he says words, right? But he doesn't know how to talk to me yet, right? When I'm changing his diaper and he blows out and it's all over me, if I don't have understanding, I will get angry. Does that make sense? Right? Right? When air hits his pee-pee and he exercises his fountain of joy and my dress clothes when I was going to a meeting is all wet, you know what? If I don't have understanding that he doesn't know any better at the moment, I will get angry. Right? If my wife at 3 in the morning just, if I didn't understand that she was breastfeeding and has been walking around for 2 hours trying to put my child to sleep, and she calls me up consistently at night. If I didn't understand what she was going through, and then I have to work in the morning, I would get angry if I didn't have that understanding. You guys see what I'm saying? As business owners, right? If you want to be a business owner, then you must take charge and lead. I want you to remember Proverbs 14:29. As you run your business, as you're building new relationships, one day, maybe right now you already have employees. You're going through all that. All these relationships you're building, people just don't know. A lot of these things you're learning today. And you're just coming to the point where you're understanding it. So as people, they'll have their faults, right? They'll give up on you. They'll quit. They'll come back, right? They'll call you names. They'll do all these things, right? You need to focus on things that are positive, because if you're a business owner, especially if you have employees, don't worry about the negatives. They'll come up with all the names for you.
Sure will.
Right? Right? We need to switch that real quick, because you're going to constantly slide back to that past relationship that I'm talking about. Right? I make jokes about it and we laugh about it because it's true. Right? Because it's true. I broke up with the old me. Right? Charlena keeps on coming back. She keeps on knocking on that door. You're not coming in. You're not getting those keys to the house anymore. Right? Don't matter how good. The other you keeps coming back looking. A new rapper and everything, new clothes, new everything. Like you're not getting in. You're not getting in. That old employee might acknowledge it, because you will have employees, right? Right? But you're a business owner now. You cannot afford to not focus on the positive. You cannot afford to not look forward into your own business to see your vision of what you're going to have for your life and what your life is going to produce for everybody around you. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. You have to take charge and lead. That's it. Everything about it comes with it. That whole process, whatever you're going through right now, it's a part of the process. It's a part of the process. I don't know one successful friend of mine where I talk to them about their past where it doesn't suck. It sucked big time. Mm-hmm. Big time. I'm not going to hold back. It was crappy. I look back at my life and I look back at all the accomplishments. I'm like, whoa. I look at all the crappy time. I'm like, whoa. it got really rough. The moment you stop focusing on what your life is going to be, that's what you're going to see, right? How tough it was, and then you're going to make up and justify things. And you carry the weight of your enterprise on your shoulders. You guys hearing me this morning? Are you taking those great notes so you don't forget this? Right? Right? Take charge and lead. As you leave here today, and you take these notes, I want you to write down great things that you can offer. Not only as a business owner, but as a human being. What can you offer that's positive? And I want you to build on that. And I want you to focus on that. If you're a charismatic person, you know, and you're funny, you know, be that. Build on that. He's like, you know what? I can make someone smile. Make them smile. Because that window of opportunity, when they smile, you can start building a relationship. I'm not talking about getting them into the business right away or anything like that, but it gives, unless you have that trust, you're not going to talk about much of anything that has to do with business. Because money is a sensitive topic. I don't know why it's so sensitive here in the United States, but it's a sensitive topic. You know, I grew up in a culture, they go, what do you do? How much money you make? I'm not kidding you. My elders will come up and goes, how you doing today, Chow? Doing fine? What are you doing these days? How much do you make? That's my culture. We don't have a problem talking about money. It's like, because my elders would go, now your parents, I taught them, right? Checks and balances here. My parents, like my parents, like my kids, your parents, I taught them. What are you doing? How much money do you make? And if I say something that isn't kosher to their ears, my parents hear it. Because 3-generation households. Right?
It's good.
3-generation households. Checks and balances. It's biblical. Right? They look at me. They don't fault me just yet. Right? They don't fault me just yet. What they say is, which means is a child that lacks, literal translation, education or lessons, knowledge and wisdom, that lacks that. So then grandparents go back and has a lecture with the parents. And the parents are like, I know, I'm supposed to tell them that. Like, no. You need to teach them. Especially when it's me, you know, and I have my kid, oh, they get real lecture. It's like now it's 4 generations, right? It's like you're a whole generation behind. Right? But here, money is a sensitive topic. You need to build that relationship. You need to build that rapport. They need to see the great things about you. Why should I divulge my information to you? You know, not just financially, right? Because we talk about balance here. Talk about everything else, relationships, right? Relationship building. Why should they build that trust? They need something to hang on to first, right? Man, you know what? Newman just makes me smile. So, you know, I feel really comfortable talking to him, right? Right? You see what I'm talking about? Oh, the next person that I'm bringing up, man, he's taking charge, and man, he's leading. That's right, I'm looking at you like. All right, guys, take great notes, okay? I'm tired of hearing, if only I had someone who knows what they're talking about. If only I had multimillionaires really, you know, sit down with me and, you know, say, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. You have that in this company, you know? No, oh, man, you need to appreciate that. You need to appreciate that. You can't ask for something, you get it, then you complain about it, right? Right? You're like, this is not going to happen in this room. This is not going to happen in this business, right? You're not going to ask for something and go, oh, I didn't know I had to go through all this in order to get it. No, right? I don't know how many times you go, hey, Chow, how do you make this amount of money? I go, this is what you need to do, right? This is what you need to do. Oh, really? That's what I need to do? I mean, I mean, you look good, and everyone looks good, everyone's doing all these things. Is there a way for you to jump from here to here? And it's like, no. Like, you have to do that. You have to go through that process, right? You literally build up the amount of patience, right? And that comes with knowledge and wisdom, right? For you to understand that not everybody knows, right? And then express that love. This next person, I have so much respect for you.
Mm-hmm.
I have so much respect for you because he exercises that. He is a walking example of that. So if you don't take good notes, I'm throwing a book at you.
Come here.
Everybody stand to your feet. Welcome, Brother William Lockett.
I'm giving up for Charlie. Because I tell you, every time he speaks, I learn. Well, how y'all doing today?
Real good.
I said, how y'all doing today?
Good.
I didn't say you owe me some money. I said, how you doing?
Right.
You know, I woke up this morning, as I do every morning, just with such a gratitude in my spirit, in my heart. And the thought crossed my spirit to share this with you this morning. And that is that you woke up this morning for a purpose and a reason. Never take that for granted. The hand of God personally touched you and created you and allowed you to wake up this morning, which means that you have a greater purpose, a greater calling on you. Don't ever allow life circumstances or the enemy to create some doubt in your mind like your life doesn't matter. You're here for a purpose and a reason. And as Child laid out this morning, this is a platform in which for you to discover that purpose and reason. See, I know I'm walking in my calling because I know that I was created to be able to be a blessing to other people. So that's why I'm so excited and passionate about JMG, because it allows me that platform in which to do that. And much like Child, I was afraid to stand and talk in front of people as well. But when you learn to overcome and conquer that fear, then you open yourself up to the blessings of the Lord, which are greater. So you can't sit back and just operate in fear and expect to get something when what it is that you're trying to get requires you to step out and be noticed. Because God is going to bless you, but he's not just going to bless you for your own personal gain. He's going to bless you so that you could be a blessing to somebody else, and so that somebody else can see him through you. So if you're sitting there asking for a great breakthrough and a blessing, but you're afraid to be recognized and noticed, you're not going to receive the blessing. Because God won't be able to get the glory for that blessing because you're afraid to open up your mouth and share yourself with other people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who that was for, but somebody. So let's talk about success. See, I love success, you know, and I just want to break it down because a lot of times people will always look at somebody else and see success in them, but not receive it for themselves. As I was riding in this morning, I'm listening to old school hip hop, you know, which I like to do from time to time. And I was listening to LL Cool J. And I was just thinking that when he first came on the scene, you know, he was hot. Everybody loved his music. But do you see the transition he made? Now he's on sitcoms, on stories and movies. And, you know, he transitioned from just hip hop and transformed himself into a star. But you better believe that there's other people that had that same talent at that same time.
Mm-hmm.
But because of fear, and the fear to be noticed or ridiculed, kept them from discovering their full potential. So God had to raise up an LL, you know, Queen Latifah, you know, Paul Jones, other people, so that we can see that God can do something through them. And if we're willing to do the same work, we can receive the blessing also. Because God is no respecter of person. But if you allow fear to cripple you, to keep you stagnant, you'll never truly discover all the potential that you have within yourself. So I've always said that JMG Network is a platform in which you develop those skills. Because we want you to become who you was created to be.
Right.
We want to put you in a position where you can be out front, where you can become a leader. Thank you, Shelly. Let's give a hand for Shelly. I tell you, she's awesome. she does so much for this company, and she's always giving, so we always got to give her due props. But I'm telling you, there's something great in you. That's why you're here this morning. That's why you woke up this morning. Every morning that you're blessed to wake up is an opportunity for you to discover that potential, to get closer to discovering to the destination of where you're supposed to be in your life. So never take it for granted or take it lightly and say, oh, just another day. No, it's an opportunity. Whether you take advantage of it or not is clearly up to you.
That's right.
So from free to freedom. And I'm going to break this down a little later, but I just want to plant that thought in your mind. Because we just, as of the 1st of September, went from free to freedom. From free to $149.95. Now, depending upon which face you have, whether that angry child look or that happy child, determines whether or not it's to freedom. Because if you got that angry look on your face, guess what? You were in bondage. That child looked like he was constipated or something. But I want you to fully embrace what this truly represents. And I'm going to break it down later. But I just want to plant that thought in your mind. So, love it or lose it. Didn't you start off with something like that earlier?
Yes, he did.
Huh?
I thought y'all coordinated.
No. I mean, that I tell y'all that all the time, but y'all think I be playing. You know, we so connected by the Spirit, we don't, collaborate on what we're going to teach on every week. But it always seems that we right on point with one another. That's because there's only one Spirit. That's the Holy Spirit. So love it or lose it based upon your passion. If you're passionate about something, you'll love it. And if you're not passionate about it, as our pastor always say, that if you don't appreciate it and show your appreciation, you'll soon lose it. You know, like that girl. Y'all don't know. Brother Paulie always uses. When I talk with Brother Paulie, it's so comical. Because everything relates to relationship. Everything. You know that girl. You too, John. You know that girl. You know that girl that you don't appreciate. Somebody else is going to be whispering in her ear, saying no sweet nothing. That's going to get her attention. And you'll soon find yourself out of a relationship. So the things that we love and appreciate, we have to show love and appreciation, or we'll lose it. So what are you living for? I saw this on the side of a bus. What are you living for? And then they had a picture of a child, so I connected it talking about family. What are you living for? We always talk about our whys. Why is it that we do this business? Why is it that you wake up in the morning? What gets you out of the bed? What will motivate you to grow and work your JMG business in the face of objection? In the face of disappointment? If you don't know your why or what you're living for, the first sign of trouble, you'll get discouraged. You give up. Now, as I mentioned a moment ago about LL Cool J, you think he was faced with some obstacles, some negativity? Oprah, one of the wealthiest people on this planet, do you think she faced some obstacles and some adversity? Any successful person in life will face adversity. Trials and tribulation will come upon you, but I'm able to deliver you out of them all, is the word. But why is there so many people, even believers, the first sign of trouble, the first sign of some opposition, give up and give in? It's so amazing to me, because sitting in the seat that I'm privileged to be able to sit in as a business owner and live the life that I live, I understand it doesn't just get handed to you. You got to do some work. But too often what people will say is they'll look at a successful individual, discount themselves, and discount the individual by making some excuse like it was easier for them than it is for them.
I heard that.
No, it's just that that person was willing to do something that others weren't willing to do. And as a result of that, achieve level success and living a life that most don't live. It's just that simple. And as Chow also pointed out, you're in a position to be able to learn and glean off of people that have demonstrated success in certain areas of life, that have a passion to pour into you. See, I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to pour some knowledge and wisdom in you to help transform your life, to take you from where you're at to a different economic level in life. Because I'm going to tell you plain and simple, I got to have some money. I've got to have it. I do. You know why? Because my bill collector's got to have it.
Right.
My kids got to have it. The lifestyle that I want got to have it. Not that it's got me, but that's the currency that we operate in this economy, right? In this country, in the world. So therefore, if I have some God-given abilities and talents, why sit back and sit on my derriere and be jealous and envious of somebody else's lifestyle when I have breath in my body? God woke me up this morning. He given me all the gifts and talents. Why not apply those gifts and talents, take control of my future, and not sit back and point the finger and play some victim or fault somebody else? Why not just take ownership and responsibility and do something about it? Rather than sitting and having some pity party with a group of individuals just because we all broke, we have something in common, but don't nobody want to get up and do nothing about it and complain. It ain't gonna change. So that's counterproductive to me. So I understand that we have a time frame. We have a real opportunity. So I'm here every Saturday to pour something into you to help transform and change your life. Because I know that God is no respecter of person. That I understand and know that there's nothing special or unique about me other than me recognizing something to be real and acting on it. So I want to encourage you and deposit into you so that you'll see that, you know what, it's possible for you as well, if you're willing to do some work. And not only that, but we're going to grab you by the arm and we're going to take you and run with you side by side. So you can't lose. The only way you lose is if you are defeated in your mind and you give up. But you know what's also interesting about people that, you know, give up on one thing? Well, how should I say that? They may look at this and say, this doesn't work for them, but then turn around and do the exact same thing in a different business and think it's going to be anything different for them. I met with a gentleman the other day. This same person signed me up in this business years ago and was pitching me about another company. And I'm sitting there thinking the whole time, like, wow. If you would have just stuck with this company, you would be my upline, benefiting from all the growth and exposure I had in my organization. And I'm sitting like, what's the difference? How can you not see this but see something else when this is even easier than what you're talking about? And if you would have just had the fortitude to stick, then you would have been so much further ahead of everybody else. But what it is that it's the makeup of people. People in their own mind, you know, can see one thing but can't see another thing, but then not be able to connect and understand it all connected. It's all related. It's a matter of developing yourself. No matter what you do, no matter where you go, there you are. The key to any success is being consistent. I don't care if it's selling toothpicks. It's just a matter of you being committed and faithful to it till the day comes that you'll begin to blow up. Now, because he done jumped around to so many different businesses, the people that he done talked to, the same people he always talks to. So after a while, people look at you like, okay, here he goes again. Another one of those deals. So then your integrity and your character begins to get questioned. But the blessing was always there. The opportunity was always there at the first opportunity. But how many opportunities have you missed in your life because it didn't happen when you thought it should happen? Do you realize that's part of the process? Because if it just came overnight and you didn't understand what it took to get it, you won't understand what's required in order to keep it. So therefore, it can come overnight and you'll lose it overnight. But the word says the blessing of the Lord addeth no sorrow. So therefore, when he blesses you, he wants to bless you for a lifetime. He wants to bless you for several lifetimes. So therefore, if you don't gain the knowledge and the wisdom on how to maintain and keep it, then you'll soon be without it, and it won't have the generational power behind it. So therefore, God allows us the opportunity to bump our head to eventually learn. See, I've been through numerous different businesses to get to where I'm at. I mean, it just didn't happen with one opportunity, one business. I mean, I've had a women's apparel shop, a nightclub, you know, a t-shirt business. I've had rental properties. I've had so many different businesses that I've started and stopped that all gave me wisdom and knowledge to do what I do now. So I'm a firm believer that you fail your way to success, and you're not a failure till you quit. Because you gain information along the way. Now, if I would have listened to family members, you know, close friends, and listened to their advice, they were telling me, quit, stop. Why are you doing that? You're going to try that again? Why not go get you one of those good jobs? Why not use your college education? I mean, I've heard all of that for years. But guess what? Those same folks, either they work for me or they're asking me for help. But if I would have listened, then I wouldn't be in a position to be a blessing. So never allow the opinion of others to control or dictate your destiny. And don't allow their opinions to form a callus on your heart either. Because God would raise you up to be an example to them, to bless them as well. Okay? So it's dangerous to not do what you love. The harsh truth is that if you don't love what you're doing, you'll lose to someone who does. For every person who is half-hearted about their work or relationship, there is someone else lurking in the shadows who loves what they're half-hearted about. This person will work harder and longer. They will outrun you. You have to be passionate about your JMG business. Whether or not you have that frown on your face, it comes through your pores. You have to love what this business is about. And the only way you're going to love what this business is about is by using the services and knowing how real they are personally. So that when you're speaking to somebody, you're speaking from a personal point of view of experience. And when you personally experience something and somebody tries to tell you something contrary to what you know, you have a certain confidence about yourself, don't you? Like, I don't know what your experience has been, but this has been my experience. And this isn't secondhand information. This is firsthand experience. So I know that the services work because I use them. It's benefited me in this way. Now it begins to erode at their objection. But if you don't know it for yourself, guess what? That becomes a bad experience for you. Oh, they're saying this about the service. They said this doesn't work. Well, you're actually telling on yourself. Because if somebody's telling you about something in the service that doesn't work, means that you haven't used to know it works for yourself. So therefore, if somebody tells you, when they tell me, I know automatically that it's an error on their part. Don't you know how many times people write into corporate that they're having problems with the system, that it's an error on their part? Time and time again. Well, I can't log in. What's wrong with the system? Well, you're using the wrong information. You're trying to use the My Financial Work to get into your JMG business or vice versa. So therefore, as a representative, have confidence in the product that you represent. Be passionate about it, because that's going to be the difference in your success versus somebody else or not having success in your JMG business. That makes sense? Yeah. So success, what's the definition of it? Outcome, result. Degree or measure of succeeding, favorable or desired outcome. The attainment of wealth, favor, or eminence. One that succeeds. The meaning of success comes in many forms and many definitions. It depends on what you're searching for in life and searching for in business. Athletes may have one definition of success, and a stay-at-home mom may have another. A musician may see success as the #1 hit, and a doctor may see success as a surgery that went well.
Right.
It really depends on the perspective of life you have. Perspectives on success are as numerous as the stars. What is your definition of success? We always say your why has to be your why. You can't say that you want the Phantom, Rolls Royce like Brother Paulie. Or you can't say that you want, the car like Mario, or the house like Chow, or, 10 kids like Chow.
Right.
Because if you say you want 10 kids like Chow, and then you get the first sign of trouble, I don't need all them kids. Why one person need all them kids? You won't have the same passion and commitment. See, he believes that. He wants 10 children. He knows that's part of his purpose in life. So therefore, it's real to him. That's the bottom line. You have to have a why that's real to you, because you'll fight for it. But we need to start narrowing down and understanding success. There's a difference between accomplishment, success, and true success. Accomplishment is where you have engaged in a task or action that you attempted and have obtained the desired result. It is based on what was expected and what results were done. This is a daily happening in the world and marketplace. People accomplish things all day long, but really achieve no success in those actions. That's like a to-do list. You got these tasks that you want to do on a daily basis. That's like people that's busy, doing busy work.
Yeah.
But is it really getting them any closer towards their goals and dreams? It amazes me how people say, oh, I'm just so busy. I'm just so busy. But can I be honest? They're busy at being broke.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with it if that's where they want to be. And I ain't going to argue with nobody.
That's right.
If that's your definition of success, is struggling from paycheck to paycheck, and you happy with that, I'm happy for you. But if at the same time you're saying that you want more out of life, you're struggling, and I'm coming to you with a solution, but you so focused on the problem that you're not open to receive the information, that seems to be a problem. Because the two aren't lining up. Y'all get that?
Mm-hmm.
And you run into those people all the time that are so busy doing busy work, but then they're complaining about where they're at in life, but they're not receptive to receive information from you. Why is that? It goes back to what Chow was teaching on this morning. What is your nonverbals saying about you?
Mm.
What is your spirit witnessing about you? When somebody is just so full of love and so full of life, they come in the room, they don't even say nothing. They ain't got to say nothing. You be like, man, who is that over there? They ain't even open up their mouth. Their presence just demanded your attention. You ever experienced that?
Mhm.
Because on the inside, they so happy and filled with joy that their spirit is actually connecting with your spirit. So if you're not in love and passionate about what it is that you want to do in life, if you're not passionate about your JMG business, when you're speaking to people, they're perceiving and picking up on that, whether you're saying it with your mouth or not. It's the nonverbals. Yeah, I like to talk to you about my business. Like, no, you've already told me you're not confident about it. It's going to go back to that free to freedom. Whether or not you're excited about what's really on the table right now. Because you really need to grasp the power of this new comp plan. If you did, you'd be so excited, on fire about it, you'd be running and telling everybody with confidence.
Mhm.
Now, I don't want to see a show of hands, but how many of y'all really said to people, well, you know what, it was free before, but now it's 150 and you missed it, but you know, let me show it to you now. The silence just spoke. Success is something different. Success to most people is when you have an ongoing string of accomplishments that, when put together, add up to a major attainment in life known as success. The addition of all the accomplishments in a person's career or life can be viewed as success in their life and business. Success then is an ongoing realization of attainment of worthy desired results concerning actions like business, wealth, or worthy ideal. See, I believe that we're in positions. I believe that we've been handpicked by the hand of God to be here, to be able to go into the highways and the byways and share an opportunity that I truly know can transform somebody's life. Not only are they able to get their own personal finances intact, but by doing what you should be doing anyways, because of the genius of this compensation plan, you actually get paid to do what you should be doing anyways. And when you begin to internalize that, and you begin to believe that, the people you speak to will begin to receive that.
That's right.
Because it's just that simple. We don't need no potions and lotions and all the gimmicks. We have things that people are concerned with on a constant daily basis. Did y'all see on the news the other night where one community was hit by 10 identity thieves, or 10 people's identities were stolen in one community? Did y'all see that on the news the other night? And they were just testifying to how, you know, big identity theft is in the world. One community, 10 people got hit at once. Do they know about JMG Network? We have identity monitor and identity protection.
Mhm.
Even in the event that the identity got stolen, we have insurance. Rather than operating in fear. See, we have a solution. We have what people need. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't be embarrassed about it.
Right.
Speak to people with confidence and boldness, because you know something that they don't know.
Mhm.
You know how much they need it, whether they realize it or not. So don't allow their lack of knowledge and ignorance to overshadow your confidence and your belief. They just don't know they need it at the moment. But that doesn't stop you from sharing it with them and sharing it with confidence. But there is even a higher level of success. There's a more powerful level of high achievement. That is why we call the path to success, success to success. It's biblical that we all move from glory to glory. And we must move from one level of success to another. So many people want to go from point A to point Z without going from level to level. As I just told you, if you don't go from level to level, once you get to your destination, you won't be there long because you don't know what's required in order to keep it. See, I'm at the point now where, God forbid, well, God's will be done.
Mm-hmm.
If the state of Minnesota came and shut my program down today, I still would live the life that I live.
That's right.
Because my existence is not determined or defined by somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the same God that brought me to this point, the same God that will sustain me and keep me and take me to where he wants me to go. So therefore, I constantly walk in faith and not doubt and disbelief. Anyone that knows me knows that about me. I don't care what my external circumstances may look like. Some of the average person may look at my situation like, man, what you want to do? What you mean what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep living.
That's right.
I'm going to keep moving towards my goals and my dreams. That's because I take ownership and responsibility. I don't put it in somebody else's hands. I know that I have everything within myself in order to create the lifestyle that God has birthed in my spirit. Because his word is true and he is not a liar. Mm-hmm. He said he will grant me the desires in my heart. So therefore, if the desire is there, means that I also have the ability to create. He ain't going to put something in you and just dangle you and try to entice you and you not have the means in order to make it come true. I refuse to believe that. So therefore, I understand it's just a matter of me keep getting up in the morning. It may not be today, but so long as I have breath in this body, God is able to move. It's going to happen one day. And I keep functioning like that, regardless of what it may feel like or look like. Because if I can see it, then I don't need hope. Y'all with me this morning?
Yes, sir.
So it's called true success. True success is simply the realization and attainment of a worthy ideal or result that your heart is deeply connected to. It is what bursts passion and your success passion. It's what people die for. It's why some people explode out of the gates and create success easily and others struggle all their life. They are operating in a whole different realm of success and action. See, I'm not standing here telling you about something I read about, something that was handed to me. The people before you today are people that struggle. Child gave his testimony how he lived out of his car. Now he operates millions. Brother Paulie tells you the story of how he was living in a one-bedroom apartment with his daughter sleeping on the couch. Now he's a multi-millionaire. I own a multi-million-dollar business myself. And I'm telling you, I've had ups and downs, but never have we lost sight and focus of the prize. Nor have we allowed distractions to come in and deter us from what it is that we wanted to accomplish. So we're standing here today to pour in you, not to tell you some fantasy, some story about what's not obtainable. We're here to tell you that, you know what? We've done it, and we've done it in other areas, and we've done it in this industry. So therefore, we want to help you to change and impact your life so that you can go out there and help somebody else. Because it's not about us. It's about the people that we can reach. It's not even about you. What did child say? Once he took the sights and focus off of himself, then he was able to walk in his calling. Once you take the sight and focus off of you, then you'll be able to walk in your anointing and your calling. Because it's not about you. It's about what God can get through you to get to somebody else. Don't be a dam. Be a conduit.
Right.
Allow it to flow through you to somebody else. It's as a success that is soaked with emotion, powered by passion, driven by destiny, and forged with the fire of the heart. It is a success that is soaked with emotion, powered by passion, driven by destiny, and forged with the fire of the heart. There is no more powerful success than success that the heart is welded to by the fire of passion. Then we would say that success and your heart have a definite connection. And any type of true success and any kind that is long-term. That's why that many athletes and artists have long careers. Their heart is attached to their success. That's why I look so good and so young. That is why entrepreneurs many times have long careers. They are operating in their passion and their true success power. Many business people today have experienced true success in their life on an ongoing basis. It blows people away when I tell them how old I am. You know, to see what I've been able to accomplish. To see the age of my children. I got almost a 30-year-old. You know, I didn't start when I was 5.
My man.
But it's because I am focused on moving forward and I don't allow nothing to stress me out.
Right.
I don't care that all hell can be breaking loose. When you see me, I'm the same every day. You never see me all stressed out. I don't care if it is something that is worthy to be stressed about. I've discovered it don't make no difference to stress about it. What I've discovered is that when you stress about it, it means that you ain't got faith in that area. So therefore, why stress about it and block your blessing? What I've learned to do is, in those seasons, Lord, what is it that you want me to get? What knowledge, what information do I need to learn right now? Lord, let me learn and discover right now so I can move into the next season.
Right.
So sometimes your knees may wobble, but you don't lose your balance and fall. God is faithful, yes, but he's looking for some that have faith, just a little bit of faith, that will take him at his word. And the word says that, you know, I am who I say I am.
Mm-hmm.
Just know me as the great I am. And that I'm a rewarder of them that diligently seek me. So first you must believe that he is who he says he is. And that he would do what he says he would do. And I'm just simple enough to believe it. And he ain't failed me yet. So if you want to know the key to my success, is my faith.
Yes, sir.
I got that walking on water faith.
Mm-hmm.
And I can stand before you confess, and I know the enemy is trembling because I'm that bold with my faith. It's like God has got his hand up under me, sustaining me, keep me from falling. Not that I don't make mistakes, but just like David. David wasn't perfect, but God said he's a man after my own heart. So I didn't learn from the scriptures, and I stand on it. So have you? People accomplish things every day. They accomplish results and more. People succeed every day in the marketplace and on the athletic field, as well as the professional field, the home field, with raising successful children. It's one of the greatest true success passions there is. But few obtain true success. Why? True success has to be passion driven, with the heart on fire. True success is birthed from a dream that cannot be denied. It is driven by a hunger that cannot be stopped. It is driven by focus that is unrelenting. It is driven by actions that will not be contained. It is driven by a force that knows no failure.
Mm-hmm.
You have to tie your heart into your business. And what you're passionate about is what this business can do for you. You have to be totally sold out. You have to be totally convinced that this business is the end all be all. This is the solution. This is the answer. So therefore, you had that passion within yourself to go out there and speak to people. Now, I just told you I've had numerous businesses in the past. And trust me, it's cost me way more than $150 to start those businesses. But I didn't have mentorship in those other businesses. I didn't have a community of people that was there to encourage me when things got tough. I didn't have the system that we have in place. So what I'm here to tell you is that we have something that is easier than what I had available. So we can shortcut a lot of the, obstacles that we've had to do through other business means. That's why we're here to tell you. So we're not here just to entertain you, like I said. We're not here to try to sell you on some pipe dream. We're here because we know that this is real, and we're trying to deposit something in each and every one of you that can transform your lives so that you can be empowered to go out there and help somebody else change their life. Because we're in the people business. And when you help solve somebody else's problems, your problems vanish as well. Is there anything wrong with that? Is there anything wrong with making money while helping other people to make money? No, in fact, is there anything wrong with helping other people make money and you make money? Because you don't make money until somebody else makes money. So you can't put the one before the other. So what is success? That's up to you. But it's not just accomplishment, it's beyond that. The steady realization of a moral worthy ideal is success to most folks. The steady realization of a dream, an ideal that is driven by the hard passion, that will not, cannot, and will never be denied, is success to a few folks. Those few folks not only know the meaning of success, but also the experience of a deeper and higher level of success. They are driven by success, not just pursuing it. You know, I had to think about what did that really mean to me. It's like, is the target out there, and so you're driving towards it, or is the target in you that is driving you towards this point? That you have it within yourself, that you know what it is that you want, rather than you just pursuing anything. There's a difference, because no matter where you go, there you are. So if you don't have it within yourself, then you're easily dissuaded to go different directions. Somebody's talking something good over here. Somebody's talking something good over here. Somebody's talking about something good way over there. But if you don't know what it is on the inside, then you're constantly pursuing different things. And when you're constantly pursuing different things, you're not going anywhere fast because you're always changing your mind. You have to stay focused. That's why I said be sold out for your JMG business. If you're not experiencing the explosion success you want today, it's only because it's something you need to work on within yourself. It's not the business, it's not the business model, it's you. What this business is about is self-improvement. The beautiful thing about it is God loves you and we love you. That's why we're going to constantly pour in you. But don't allow yourself to get tricked to think of some other flash, in the pan ideal over here. You're going to run over there and all of a sudden you're going to be successful in that. You're going to experience the same growth pains that you're experiencing now. The only difference is that you just disqualified yourself, because now what you've done is all the seeds that you've sown, that you uprooted them, and now you've gone somewhere else. So if you've already gone through the process, it's just a matter of time before your breakthrough comes. But what you need to be doing is look at yourself. The Word of God says, first consider your ways. So look at yourself. What is it that I'm not doing that I need to do that's not attracting the right people, that's not getting the results that I want? And the key is that when you begin to do that self-check, you're actually positioning yourself and qualifying yourself for greater promotion. It's not just about this business. It's about your lives. This business is a platform to put you in an environment that's going to allow you to bud and take shape to become the individual that you was created to be. So therefore, don't get tricked and uprooted, because then you begin to dwarf your potential. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
And within that little difference is the meaning and power between success and true success. The limit to your abilities is where you place it. You have all the weapons you need. Now fight. Be what God created you to be. Be successful. More than a conqueror, above and not beneath. Blessed coming in and going out. God said, let there be, and there was. So be successful. Now I want to talk about what this free to freedom is. You know, I just look at things a little differently. So it used to be this, right? So this is free to freedom. And the reason why I say that is because I'm gonna keep doing this until somebody gets it. What's that? Senior director. Okay. So now this is you. You go get your 3 people. That's 150 per person. Now, since you've already been in the business, if you've been in over 7 days, you'll get $25 per person. Okay. Now, the goal is to help them to go out and duplicate within 7 days, right? So they'll get their initial $150 back within 7 days, right? Then your goal is to get promoted to senior director. Because with the new compensation plan, it's really geared for senior directors. Now, the senior director, you go out, you're doing the same thing, getting your 3 people, right? Now you're going to get $75 per person, correct? But more importantly, now every person that they bring in is $50 per person to unlimited levels. So the reason why I say from free to freedom is that the new compensation plan is geared towards helping people to become financially free so that you can work your business full time. Because when you're talking about $50 per person and you got the organization that's growing and you're getting 10 to 15 people per week coming in your organization, now you're talking about more than the average income on a monthly basis now coming to your mailbox. So if you're already making anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 a month, now your JMG business is producing that same amount of money every month for you, which allows you to either make a decision to cut back on your job to work your JMG business more, or to go full-time with your JMG business. That's why I say free to freedom, because this compensation plan is designed to financially free you up through the bonuses while you're building the true income or the residual income. Because as you're building in your SD code, guess what? Your MA code is still building. So you're getting residuals from here and here. So when we show that $5,000 a month, that's $5,000 a month from here and $5,000 a month from here. But what is the real goal? That everybody goes to SD, right? So that means that's 5,000 times 5. 5,000 times 5. Because everybody wants to get at least 5 customer points, right? So when they show the $26,000 a month, is based upon senior directors, okay? Now you're talking about $50,000 a month. Y'all get it?
Yes, sir.
So it's not just this. There's a bigger picture that I think that most people don't even realize exists. That you're actually, once you get promoted to senior director, building in 2 different codes. So you get the money from both codes. But your goal is to get to the SD as quickly as possible so that you can take full advantage of the new compensation plan. So now do y'all understand what free to freedom is? So just go out there and do it. Be successful. Live the life that you was created to live. Now the next training I bring up is an individual that I know God has placed in my life. Because lot of times when you're on the road of faith and you're fighting the good fight of faith, it's a lonely journey. I mean, even significant others, those close to you, sometimes can't understand and relate what you're talking about when you're talking about, creating something as an entrepreneur. When you're going through the growth pains of being an entrepreneur, sometimes it's painful because you're totally walking by faith. If you ain't got an income coming from a 9 to 5 and you're an entrepreneur and that's your sole source of income and you live a nice, comfortable, or you live a nice lifestyle, you ain't talking about being able to go on unemployment. Unemployment, you don't qualify. So you're always out there on the limb. So sometimes people don't understand it's not cut from the same fabric. So I know God placed this individual in my life so that we can, encourage one another. And when we first connected, he didn't fully know me, but you know yourself. And I'm like, this brother just don't know who I am. But he challenges me. He expanded my thoughts. And trust me, my thoughts are out there. But I give this brother his due respect because he thinks on a grander level, which allowed my thoughts to expand. And as a result of that has touched and enriched my life. And so I want you all to stand to your feet and welcome up Brother Paul Jones.
All right, all right. I'll give it up to William Lock it down, lock it. Well, I'm excited to come up and say my piece of mine. And obviously I'm dressed down because I'm also my son's football coach. So that's just the way it's going to be, Like he's growing and he hit a kid so hard today. And I was just like, wow, that's my boy, But you get excited about life. And I just want to recap from what I've seen with Child and with William. And one thing that they both said was, number one, about love. You got to love somebody else. And that's what drives you to want to do better. Does that make sense? If you don't have love for somebody else, then the pain that you go through or the so-called embarrassment or the pride things, see, I don't have that because I have that same love. So that's what drives you on. You don't look at other people and be like, well, they said, my whole goal, especially for this immediate group right here and those few that are online, you have to be okay with doing better than you are. Because what happened, if you're not okay with doing better than where you are, you're going to eventually turn and be friction to those who are working to do better. Matter of fact, you just start talking about this. Like, all they talk about is money. You get that? So when Child spoke on his culture not being afraid to talk about money, I was like, yeah. Because growing up, when you're talking to people about money, like, money ain't everything, money ain't this and that. But then you go read the Bible and it says money answers everything. You be like, now, wait a minute. Now, you told me money ain't that important. But now that I got out of mom and daddy's house, I can't live free. Y'all get this? We just have to sometimes get the dumb thoughts out of our minds, because they're taught by somebody who wants you to keep you dumb, okay? And get the intelligent thoughts in, and then be willing to go for it. So it's like little things that I notice in business, and my whole goal is to share it with everyone. It's like my next door neighbor who's basically the head coach of PJ's team. So we're out there, in the last few times, I just kind of, I be picking his brain because he's the principal founder of a company called Tradition Wealth Group. And, they help private wealthy people manage their estates and all this. So you look up and there's limos outside his house and all that. And I pick their brains, you get what I'm saying? But I also watch and I ask questions and I sit back and look at the response. You know that? So when they spoke about how are you seeing, how do you want to be perceived, something simple happened. We're on a practice field Tuesday, and the big FedEx plane came over the football field, but it was lower than normal. And he was just like, that plane's low. And I'm just like, yeah, the airport's, a few miles up. So I'm sure they told him to circle. So then he looked at this other lady whom he knew was, her husband was an air traffic controller. He said, call your husband and see why that plane's low. I was like, y'all just don't go ahead and call. And he said, that's the last thing I need is a plane going down right now. And so I just heard him, and he just was, and I'm like, wait a minute. See, when people are in tune with the ways of the world, a plane going low makes you say, hold on, that ain't right. Find out what's going on here. And I'm like, you know what? You're managing people's wealth. A plane out of line will make you perk up. And I'm like, whoa, I done taught messages on how the devil never rests. And I'm like, and when you look and you're teaching wealthy people, and I'm like, right, somebody will say something to you. You got to perk your ears up. They'll speak a doubtful word. You got to perk your ears up. A plane may be flying too low. You must perk your ears up so you can say, wait a minute, that ain't right. Because you know that you don't want anything to come in and put people in fear and stop them from wanting to invest. You know, and I just said today, I said, so how's the economy and everything? Is everything good? And he's like, oh, it's great times right now. And I'm like, right, but when you look at the news, they're trying to get you to think it's not good times. So he goes, yes, perfect time to be investing and doing all that. And then, come on, guys, let's get to going. I'm like, and we just keep on going. See, you sit back and you walk around people and you get positioned. Now, are y'all okay with having millionaire conversations?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
You have to really, truly be okay with that. Because I've come up here many a times and shown you a little principle called the penny that doubles. And we know that today it could be 1 penny, tomorrow it's 2, the next day it's 4, the next day it's 8, the next day it's 16. But it's got to be something inside of you that will not just have you knowing, but makes you go and respond and act on what you know. Because that's the key to your success. Not knowing, but the action to benefit from what you know. I look at this whole thing and I always write it down and say, this is the simplest thing a person can do. But you've also heard me say that you don't have financial problems. I want y'all to repeat that. I don't have financial problems. I have mental problems. It's all about your mentality. Your checkbook, your lifestyle was in who was teaching your mental thoughts that shaped your core values, that when you stepped out to take action, whatever the receiving is, because you're receiving information all the time, what you decide to receive from whoever's sowing it, you have to consider that source. And when that source is coming, then you got to be like, okay, wait a minute. Now, this is consistency. This is a wealthy individual, very humble, very open, very nice. But I just happen to, you know, I'm nosy every now and then. You're like, man, this dude, ooh, okay, you did that too? You know, you find out. And then you say, wow, all people got to do is go get 3 people. So let's just look at it, not religiously, okay? This ain't a religious conversation, although I'm going to use God and the devil, okay? This is just, I want you to just think about it. I just don't know any other way of putting this. God is a coach, and the devil is a coach. Y'all get this? So you're going to draw a line. And you're like, okay, we got God's team, and then we got negative. I don't even want to write his name. Right? You get this? God's team is going to say, go, period. God's team is going to say, write your vision, right? So you got to have a vision. God's team is going to say, keep the faith. God's team is going to tell you to have hope. Now, I'm not going to write it all down, but God's team will tell you you can do all things. God's team will tell you it is whatever you thought was impossible is possible, right? Over here is going to be the opposite of all of this. So many of you, people, not just you, will say they want something out of life, but they will go and attack something on this side because of what we say is fear. God didn't give you the spirit of fear. So now we have this thing where people are afraid to speak to people. It's like, I'll speak to everybody. People ask, man, how did you make all that money? I went around and I didn't care. You've heard me say many times, I don't have pride. You know, I don't get involved in that. I care if you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic, you know, you got to get like Child. You know, Child speaks multiple languages. You realize that? I'm talking to Child. Next thing you know, he's speaking Spanish to my wife. And I'm like, you're a bad boy, Child. You're a bad boy. You could be spitting game right now and I'd have no clue. You know, he's going to get with a Hmong or Vietnamese girl and just like pound, ping, pound, pound. And you be like, you ain't got no clue. Then he go to the English speaking, honey. You know what I'm saying? As Brother Logan put me on Front Street, and I'm going to put it on there too. You go to the English speaking, honey, like, hey, girl, how you doing? And then he got Ebonics down too, though. Have y'all peeped that? Child be like, yo, what's your name? Girl, I'll let you get that milk and cookies. Right? But you peep game on that skill. You understand? That skill. That's paying attention to things around you. When you do that, you always win. You will. Guarantee already. You have some rough days. But again, let me say, this is for those who are okay with being millionaires, right? See, I'm tired of this teaching folks mediocre stuff because, you know, people want to tell you, well, you really think you'll make $1 million in that thing grade. The thing that's always bugged me, for a person to downgrade that, they're saying I'm better because I did make $1 million in this thing, well more than one. And I'm like, you know what? You can. But there is a secret. Everybody want to know the secret. You just got to do the work. Now, if you really think about it, we've all went to that job at $10, $15, $20, $25, maybe even some $30 for the hour, and you wanted to quit that day, didn't you? You didn't quit. You went to that job and an employee, not the boss, another employer, co-worker, worked your nerves. You was up in there like, say one more thing. You'd say one more thing to me, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this hot water on you. You know, one more thing. Say, put these Al Green grits on you. You know, real hot. So you got to realize that things always bug us, but that's why that word vision is in there. If you don't have a vision, then your vision becomes that fool. So you go make a foolish decision that messes up where God wanted you in the first place. And then we got all these people out here saying, well, money ain't this. It ain't all about money. It ain't all about this. Are you right? It ain't about money, but get you some. It's never not about money until you have it. Because once you have it, then now it's about being free to go coach your kids' football team. Now it's about being free to take the vacation you want, not the vacation at your budget. Speaking of vacation, don't y'all realize y'all got a free vacation coming February 25th?
Yes, sir.
Who want to go? I mean, a couple of them going anyway, but they already paid the price. They did something. You know what I mean? But I just look at that, it's like, why would you just pay for a vacation when somebody's saying, hold on, we ain't saying go put a certain amount of money, a certain amount of reps in the business. That's just the way you look at it. We saying go make you some money, and then we're going to send you on a trip. See, that's the way I see it. I'm like, you know, it ain't go put 60 reps in, go put 120 reps in, go put 250 reps in, and you got to be a senior director. So somebody just look at it this way. What's 200 times 50? 10 grand. I'm saying, please go make $10,000 for yourself, senior directors, and come with us. And we're going to pay for that too. So the trip is just the prize for you making 10 grand. The trip is just the prize for if you do halfway. You made 5 grand. The trip is just the perks. And then we going to give you some money to come and have fun too. Do you get it?
Yes, sir.
So you got to stop looking at things the wrong way and look at it the right way. You do need to make some money. I mean, if it wasn't about money, why would they have all these, we're in a political season, so I can speak on that too, because it's relevant right now. Why would they have power packs or whatever they call them, to put money in to go and advertise stuff? I saw a commercial, and I ain't sitting here advocating for one or the other, may the best man win. I'm going to make my money regardless. You understand that internet world? Regardless of who getting in. You understand that? When Bush was in, I made millions. When Clinton was in, I made millions. It don't matter to me. I got to get up and go feed my families one way or the other. I don't know about y'all, but I'm like Jay-Z. I don't care if I sell 1 million records or one, but I think you should, because if I only sell one, then out comes the hood. So we gonna make a living. I ain't gonna do nothing against God's word. Some of you are like, huh? He was like, whether I sell records or not, he's got to do what he's got to do. You got to look at it that way too. I was feeling Brother Locker when he said that old school hip hop. I was like, I came in the door, said it before. Never let the mic magnetize me. Woo. Well, I feel it. And then he went to LL. Boy, I used to scratch on turntables. I was a DJ back in the day. Anyway, that's another life. We'll talk about that afterward if you want to be aware. But we're talking about you making some money and not letting dumb things stop you from getting it. When you don't look a man or a woman in the eye, do you know what you're doing? You're giving them power over you. If somebody can come up and you want to say, hey, you keep your options open for making more money? Come on, you see how that just flowed out? You keep your options open for making more money? I mean, fellas, it's the same as I used to do this all the time, and I succeeded well. I don't care if it was the flyest honey in the place. All the other guys, like, oh man, how I look. I was already going over there like, hey girl, how you doing? How you doing? What's your name? What's your name? Girl, you look great tonight. And I'm like, you want to dance? Let's go dance. They're like, Paulie, you don't waste time. I'm like, I ain't afraid of her. You know what I mean? Never. So therefore, you know what happened? They don't get it. I have 6 sisters. Being around them caused me not to fear women. Okay, my sisters are fine. Being around them, there was always a bunch of guys around too. In other words, I was always in the mix. Y'all get this? So every now and then I'd say, dude, don't call my sister no more because she don't want you to call her no more. Don't call her no more. You understand me? Don't call her no more. Now, I told you now. Don't. Every now you have to buck up, right? Put it into a financial world. Put it in your business world. You got to look at people no matter what they seem to oppose or how sedity or excellent they think they are, and you have to look them in the eye and be like, look here, you keep your options open for making more money? And just say it. But look them in the eye when you say it. That shows your confidence. When you be like, well, how you doing? I'm even like going, why? You lack confidence. You have to. I don't care if y'all ever been like in the inner city and saw a real hustler on the streets, just a real one, though, not one of them cats will lie to you to your face so good. You know what I mean? You seen a crack fiend and won't crack really bad. For real. They figure out they ain't got no job, but they get $10, don't they? Well, you know what? It's because they know what they want. I'm not saying they on the negative side of life, but they know what they want. Look at the audacity of a bank robber. One that sits down and plans, says, I'm gonna go up in this bank and I'm fixing to go get this. The audacity to do that. Then we say, you ain't got to do none of that negative stuff, but you do have to speak up. You can't be afraid when people speak and like, oh, you doing one of those things? You know what? Yeah. I used to trip you like, yeah, man, what you know about it? You see how you turn the conversation? It's like, you knew about it? It's like, man, ain't that one of the pyramid things? Man, for real, you knew about this before? Why did you tell me? I get mad at them on purpose. Right? Why? Because when you start giving them, showing them that you're intimidated by them, then it's gonna get funny. It's like today, Chad Punk, the other coach down on the team, and I'm like, I just see him as a mild-mannered white guy, clean cut. He out there with his kids, and the defensive line has to count 1 apple, 2 apple, 3 apple. So he's calling the offensive plays, and I'm working with the line guys. I'm saying, y'all got to hold them guys. You can't let them in the backfield. So he said, Coach, your guys keep getting in the back. They got to count 3 apples. Then the guy goes, well, yeah, but some of you guys he goes, 3 apples. Don't let them in the back no more. I'm going to run them over. Right? So he looks at my son. He said, PJ, anyone cross that line, take them out. And I'm sitting there like, all right, I'm about to see this. What he did is he knows that that's an aggressive kid. PJ was the center. Hiked the ball. You know, I got to get my, you know, you can talk about Evan. You got to get right. He hiked the ball and literally, here come this little middle linebacker. Boom! And ran through him and went for the other. I was like, ooh. And he looked at him and said, told you he should have counted 3 apples. And he goes, and the other coach stands there like, he goes, all right, good job, PJ. And I'm just like, nah, I'm into it. I'm like, better not say nothing. Better not say nothing. Because he just going to talk, but I'll go ahead and show you. But it's that confidence that no matter what's going on around you, you do not let people violate what you said don't violate. You know what you want to do. You know what play you want to get called. You know what you are supposed to do and what things are supposed to look like. You push back. So we have a great company. I get folks all the time, as Pastor said earlier, you know, that call you about this and that. And I'd be like, man, have you heard about GMG Network? It's like, no, man, it's off the chain. Oh, man, do you know what? Here, no matter what you're talking about, you think people going to have to pay taxes this year? It's like, yeah. I said, hold on. No matter what you're talking about, you think people got to credit score? Like, yeah, girl, hold on. No matter what you're talking about, do you think people got to manage their budget today? Well, yeah. No matter what you're talking about, do you think people want to pay more for their debt or less? That's great. We have the solution. We have to get out and start speaking that, because ain't nobody else talking nothing better. The presidents are talking what we talk. They're speaking our language. The laws that are being made for us. They're like, hey, we're looking out for them GMG folks. Go ahead and make this law. You know, we're going to tax the rich. Great. We're looking out for them GMG folks. It's like, right, we're going to get rich. But what's going to happen is we know the shelters. You get that? Well, we're going to tax the middle class. Great. We ain't going to be in the middle class anyway. It don't matter. One way or the other, we're going to come up. Do y'all get this? But the only way it happens is by us taking that attitude, that aggressive attitude, and realize that God wasn't no punk. You know, God, I mean, for real, think about it. The Red Sea split. All those that was chasing Moses and his crew, once they got across, what did God do with that Red Sea? He closed it on them. See, y'all act like y'all don't want to know about that God. See, I know both gods. God, like, look, yo, that's how I strike you down. I'll might you. I'll smite you. I'll get you. You're going against my kids, no weapon formed against them shall prosper. But the weapon does form. You have to stand up and have that faith and not be afraid to speak to people. Nobody's better than you. I'm not better than you. You understand that? Only thing I did is I acted on some information. And I had the gall or the audacity or tenacity to go out and do what people told me would not work. I was told not to do network marketing. I had a guy call me a week ago. You know, they see your book come out and all that. He's like, oh, you know, I got just what helped the company grow that much faster. And I replied back, it was in the text. I said, yeah, 3 people. And it helped him get 3 people. It's like, we already figured it out. It's like, what makes you go get 3 people? What made me do it? I wanted my daughter that brought me this caribou, you know, I wanted her not to be on the couch. So, period. So now I still have that desire. It's now I want her to go to Harvard, Princeton, or Yale, and then she threw in Berkeley and all these other places. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to plague her with a school loan. Let's be honest. How many of us had school loans? Let's be real. You think about that. If you know, you finally get the job, you finally get working, what kid is going to do better in life? The one who had the parents who did and paid the price and sacrifice, or the ones like, boy, you have to go do what I did? No, I look at some, I'm like, wow, so you didn't have school loans, so you were able to start your own business or wait to take the job you really wanted versus be stressed to go take a job you didn't want. Do y'all get this? So it's like, no, then that tells me I need to go do abundantly above more than what the average person thinks. Well, that means y'all have to be millionaires. So once you get this and you make up in your mind, because it's a decision that you're going to have to make. Only thing I did is I made a decision to become a millionaire. That was it. Not a decision to go around and act like I'm better than anybody else. People got it messed up. I hang around a lot of wealthy people, and they've never treated people funny. I've been around broke folks trying to get there. They're like, you can't have, we in VIP. What? See, wealthy people don't do VIP because everybody in the place is VIP. You understand that? If you go over to Brackett's Crossings Country Club, everybody that walks in there's no special section. You go to the Legends Country Club, I'm talking about my neighborhood. I just walk in there. I walk in and, hey, PJ, they high-five him while everybody in there is wealthy. It's never been a special section. It's games. But once I got to that certain point, then I was like, oh, I see. It's like, why? They treat everybody so cool just because if you're in here in this whole restaurant, see, go to a nice restaurant, they treat everybody nice because the price tag on the menu is so already saying that if you wouldn't be in here if things went right. You get my point? Put yourself in a level of living that you love everybody, period. So when I was doing some study on Bill Gates, I study wealthy people. And I'm like, he's the largest contributor to the NAACP. Now I was in, I teach all kind of different groups. So I'm in this church and everybody was black or African American, to be politically correct, whatever. And I said, who's the largest contributor to the NAACP and the United Negro College Fund? They're like Oprah Winfrey, this and that, and said all these names. And I said, Bill Gates, so when are y'all gonna have him come speak? And the whole point is I was saying, break that barrier. I'm looking around and it does not look like the United States of America. So we have to make sure we be mindful of even who we bring into our circle. You get that? When I go to my kid's school, I look around and I see all nationalities. When I pick on Child because he can speak 4 or 5 languages, and I'm like, wow, that's what it's really about. That's what the world really looks like. You get me? So now as we're starting to build a business, you want to build a global business or a neighborhood business? See, we are going to be a multi-billion-dollar company, period. So whatever struggle you're going through now, it's temporary. Y'all say it's temporary. It's only temporary. Because in the end, as long as you keep going, then we're going to make it. It's when you stop, I have to go ahead and replace you. You get that? Now, I don't want to have to replace you because that's not my goal. My goal is to have you come on. And then when you get there, well, I was going through this and I was going through that, I'm going to be like, man, I've been going through some stuff and I don't even tell people at times. You get that? I know this man right here has been going through some stuff that he don't even bring up to people and still be going. I know others have been struggling in life to make ends meet and to keep going. But those who don't understand creating wealth will always, y'all want to guarantee? They will always discourage you. But I'm come to their defense now. They don't know that that's what they're doing. People who don't know what creating wealth looks like, they look at you funny because you're doing something that they don't understand. Do y'all get this? So you have to be the one mindful. You have to be the knowledgeable and the wise one. So when they say something that we know is foolish, then we have to what? As the word of God say, win them over. And say, well, no, that's not the way it works, but I'll show you. Because you can't tell because talk is cheap. I met so many people and like, Brother Paulie, I'm gonna do this. Brother Paulie, after this, I'm gonna do this. Brother Paulie, after this point, I'm gonna do this. Brother Paulie, I'm gonna make this much money. When I make this much money, I'm gonna go do this and I'm gonna build my JMG business after. And I'm like, but you speaking to a guy who ain't never made $1 million? You ain't never made $1 million. And you telling the guy who's made $1 million that you're gonna go do all these other things that I already know. It's impossible to say you're gonna do that and make $1 million. Literally impossible. So therefore, that's why I just say, you know what? If we just look at this as time, y'all gonna be on God's side, right? That's right. It's God. I erase everything else. If we just say, okay, let's say we're gonna work 9 days. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Got that? Okay, great. Now we're gonna keep on going. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We'll keep on going. We're going to go 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. These are what we're going to call days. So you go out and you talking to people on each day, though. You get that? You're speaking to people every day. Spoke to people this day, this day, this day, but on the fourth day, you got someone. You got that? Now, how did you get someone on the fourth day? So on the first 3 days, you were speaking to someone. Do y'all get that? Now, if you go 3 or 4 days and there's not someone saying, I'm at least trying to get my money together, then it's simple. Look back at the last 3 or 4 days and realize that you weren't consistently working your business. Now, talking to another rep in the business is not working the business. You may do things as me and Brother Lockie give praise reports. You know, I'll be eating his praise reports sometimes more than he realizes, you know, but I enjoy that. I got other folks that I'll call, you know, a friend of mine, John Jones, in another company, you know, he bought him a Bentley. And I said, oh, yeah, you got to be. I said, man, we get him things in my company, you know, but at the same point, I was congratulating. It's like, man, you're doing good. He still bought him a Bentley. You know, but the whole point is every day you got to be speaking to someone. If you're not speaking to someone, then this 4 and 4th day doesn't happen. So when people say, I'm trying to get reps, I'm like, stop trying. You get that? You have to stop trying and start doing. You have to make sure every day you have someone that is on the schedule. Now, here's the beauty of this. On this day, your efforts get multiplied. You see this? Because it was you speaking to people. You got someone. Now it's you and them. The next 48 hours are really crucial. Now understand, if you're speaking to people, this person on the first day might have said on Friday they're going to get in. You see how that works? So now here you go. You get another person on the 7th day. So Sunday they came afterwards. This person's doing the same thing. So now you're speaking to people, they're speaking to people. Next thing you know, on the 11th day, somebody else got in. You see the way this really looks. Then you keep going. Next thing you know, you, them, and them are doing it. Next thing you know, okay, on the 13th, you got someone. On the 16th, you got someone. Now it's you, them. This one quit. Don't know what happened. He quit, or she quit. But pay attention, because you're working hands-on with them. They signed some person up on this day. You drop down and you start mentoring this person. If they want to go ahead and trash their dreams, you let them, but you don't let them trash yours or the person that they brought in. You get that? You drop on down. It's like, look, here, you done lost your mind. You done lost your mind. Come on, man. He done lost his mind. That's your cousin. All right, give him some money later. What happens is you keep going. Before you know it, time goes on. Everyday activities will be coming into your business every day. What happens is more and more activities come in. Here's the beauty of it. You do all the work now. This is what it's going to sound like. Work, 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 get paid. Work, work, get paid. Work, 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 get paid. Work, get paid. Work, work, get paid. Work, work, get paid, get paid, get paid, get paid, get paid, get paid, get paid. But you must put in the work first. People want to get paid without putting in the consistent work. This is all it is. So from there is many of you have nice sized organizations. People do lose their minds. It's, I don't know what, people got kids that still lost their minds. They still love the kids, but they go ahead and they support the kid that ain't lost their mind, right? So you have to realize that you have something great, but your mission, because I'm trying to ordain it on everyone, if you're serious, you're going to be a millionaire. So I have to just not be afraid to speak into your lives. Why? Because it's impossible for the vision of this being $1 billion company to happen if you don't make millions. Do y'all get that? The company I worked with, Excel, became a $2 billion company. Well, it would have been impossible for them to do that without me becoming a millionaire. Do y'all see the way this works? It is not one of things, contrary to what most people believe, where the guy at the top makes all the money. No, that's corporate America. You know, who was with us last week when Mel Fletcher said the average CEO's wage is 500 times that of the average salary? And I'm just like, wow, 500 times. And then we got people that just sitting around like, oh, well, I got this going on, I got that going on. It's like Pastor said earlier. You're busy, but you're just busy being busy. You have to organize your life and get all of the chaos out of your life. I taught last Wednesday night where when Jesus was going to heal this guy's lady, or the synagogue ruler, the ruler of the synagogue's daughter, she was already dead. The people was having fits. He put them all out. You got to put some people out. And that ain't in a sense of just starting, let me tell you about yourself. No. I put people out by silencing them. I starve them. Do you understand that? You starve the doubts. When I see someone, they're like, oh, you're starting to waver in your belief. Then I starve them. It's like I don't chase people. The same energy it takes to go call and chase an old rep to wake up is the same energy it takes to go engage into a new person that you ain't got to go explain nothing but where you want them to go. So you spend the time, you'll let the other ones know, hey, this thing is good, getting better. And then you go to the new people because that's where it's going to happen. I mean, think about it. You know, the Queen of Spain or whatever, she went ahead and broke Christopher Columbus off and said, get on that boat, man, and go find out what's out there, right? They didn't just settle on the land that they was on. They went ahead and they funded it. You get this? When you are ready to explore to go to a next level, you have to fund it. The reason why some people never grow is they are not accustomed to funding anything, not even themselves. You should be the number one person that you want to fund. It's like, why? I am funding my future. We are, y'all think JMG Net Worth is the company y'all see now? No, I see the company that one day when people just log on and buy their groceries because it's normal. Then it's like, what? They went through the My Financial Worth system. And then it automatically grabs coupons without you going to search for coupons. See, I'm giving away some stuff. But see, we don't, you know, my corporate day, I'm sitting there working and talking to people and engaging with folks. And obviously, my next door neighbor is a wealth manager. They're already waiting for us to get to a certain size. Then they can come in and I'll help every rep manage their wealth. And it's just a matter that goes, let me know when you guys are ready. I'm like, man, I wish I was ready right now. And it's like, why? And the only reason we're not is because we allow people to take our spirits. You give your spirit to God. That's in many different meanings. You keep your spirit there. And then you don't let people break your spirit. So you step out there. If somebody's like, oh, what is it? And they're being sarcastic, you're like, it's making money. I mean, but how? Well, an intelligent person would actually sit down and have an intelligent conversation on how money is made. But other than that, if you know someone intelligent, send them my way. Right? I'm a professional smart aleck. Okay, you ain't got to woof at them. You got to just be like, look, this is what it is. But what y'all do? We make money. You got a problem with that? Oh, that's one of them scam things. What you calling me a scammer? I look people in the eye and I make them think about what they're saying. It's like, no. But have you ever worked a job and got fired and didn't even know it was coming? Just got there and then an HR department, you know, sold you a few years prior on how your pension and retirement plan would look. And the next thing you know, they walk in because the old director of rep relations, our company, and I speak to him, you know, on a regular around Latimer. You know, he told me at a time that they had buses because he was the director of HR for Carlson Companies. Big, beautiful campus out there. He said they had buses for people who carpooled to work to get them back to the carpool ports. And I'm like, wow, but when it was time for them to get laid off, everything that they was told in their pension and all that, it was done. And I'm like, you know what? I would hate to be somewhere. You going to work, everything good. You done bought the big screen a week and a half ago on credit. Everything, you're like, good. You show up to work, your normal time, you done right. You ain't harmed nobody. And then they say, we need to talk to you. Then you look and you're like, where you going? What is some company meeting today? And then they bring you all in a room not even knowing that another group is now sweeping your desk and cleaning everything off. See, that's when folks sit back and be like, well, the economy's bad and there's no jobs. I'm sitting there looking at folks, why are you looking for a job? You got $150, come on. Put yourself in a position to never need an outside institution to take care of you. Be in a position to take care of yourself and give people information to take care of themselves and give those people information to take care of themselves. Because I promise you, we will always be a relevant company because the government is always going to tax you, period. And if the government says we ain't going to tax you no more, don't worry about money anyway. Something bigger is going on. There's a bigger problem, and I'm like, go home with your babies. Okay, go to the Lord now. They ain't going to tax you. But I don't care what party they are, they all said something about, oh, we're going to tax you. We're just going to tax you less, we're going to tax you more, but we're still, no one says we're going to take away the tax. Y'all get this? In the late 80s, when Reagan was in the office, somehow credit scoring was implemented. So, as most young baby boomers still to this day don't get it, you have to get it. When I was in high school, not even knowing, they said, okay, great, we're not going to do credit scoring. So it was no longer now on how good the banking relationship was with my parents. You know, that's how they used to do things. It was no longer that way. Now it's a matter of you're a number. So everybody's worried about the mark of the beast and this and that. I'm like, man, you got numbers you're being controlled off of already. Late. Oh, that was too deep for y'all. But you got to realize that there's a 3-digit number that says who you are. Okay. So seeing on, you don't have control over that number. Y'all realize that? Mm-hmm. I'm going to say it again. You do not have control over that number. Then you have to figure out some way to get in control of it. JMG Net Worth is the only company on the planet. And when I was with consultants over this last summer, and they said the freescore.com company has had over 20 million customers, and you know that's $29.95. Well, but they don't give you a credit restoration system to go in and repair or fix anything that's wrong with your credit. They don't do anything to help you with your taxes. They don't do anything to help you balance your daily budget, which probably got you into the credit situation in the first place. They don't do anything to get you out of debt, which is the only way to create wealth is you must eliminate debt. I'm gonna say that again. I don't care what a person's out there selling. This is what the average person who still doesn't understand how to make wealth. They sell more and buy more. It looks like they're growing. You understand that? It appears that they're growing. They're selling more and buying more, but they're staying at the same level in society. Yeah, they got a bigger house, a bigger car, bigger toys, but they also got bigger debt. Now, something happens. The Twin Towers get hit. The stock market drops. People don't want to sell anything. And there we go, and we blame George Bush. Stop looking for the fault. And that's why I looked at Mr. Schumacher and I'm like, this dude is paying attention to a plane. He said, that's the last thing we need, because he understands the power of fear over people. It stops them from buying. And I'm like, right, so you have to eliminate debt, so no matter what goes on, if you don't have debt, it doesn't bother you. Another thing, why people need to pay attention to JMG Net Worth right now. We've been saying this for years, but right now, when the mark hit, it blew me away. Do you realize that the interest rate went to the lowest it has ever been in history? You are living in the middle of the rich getting richer and the poor getting poor. You have to make it your own duty to go out and tell people, it's like, yeah, you caught up in all of this and where jobs are going to be. But the interest rate dropped to the lowest in history, period. You can't battle or contest that. When something drops lower than anything in history, that means under any presidency, under anything else, under no matter how much money a person had, that also means how's your credit score looking? Because a buying frenzy is about to hit. Y'all get this? Mm-hmm. How liquid are you now because a buying frenzy is happening right now. What happened the next day? The stock market went higher than it's ever been in 5 years. What does that tell you? In that day, people made millions. That day. I got to studying more and found out like 3,900 millionaires are created a day. So when you go hear people like, oh, it's hard and those things don't work, tell them to shut up in the name of Paul Jones. Okay, just stop all of that. You're being tricked and hoodwinked and bamboozled and not even given the correct information. JMG Network is giving you the right information. Then we say, now, senior directors, realize 50-50, 50-50, 50-50, 50-50, 50-50, 50-50, 50-50. The next month, 50-50 a day. It comes in multiples per day. All of a sudden, you're not even working the business as much. You're just out enjoying your life. And it's just 50-50, 50-50, 50-50, 50-50, senior director, executive senior director, 75, 75, 75, 75, 75. And it's just like, whoa, residual income going up, going up, going up, going up. You know, what happened? Debt. Because people have a debt system. Debt's going down. Credit scores are going up. Balancing your daily budget is being balanced perfect. Credit scores going up. What is so wrong with that? I know we got the best business in the world. You have the best business in the world, and it will make you a millionaire from this here business if you seize the moment and the times right now. This is the time for y'all to shine and go for y'all. Don't let no negative person take you off your mark, okay? This is the real deal right here. You start looking people in the eye and holding your posture up, because that's all it is. It's posturing and looking people in the eye and speaking with confidence. The word of God says a rich man speaks roughly. You are already rich. You call those things that be not as though they were. You are already rich. I was saying I was a millionaire before I made $1 million, because I was there. Folks were like, you haven't made $1 million in this thing. That's your problem. You don't see the end. I do. So when a company printed in a magazine, from them, not me speaking, and Paul Jones has made millions from this company. Then I stood there like a b-boy in my b-boy stance. Like, what now? Told you. That's all you got to do. You get your faith confessions, your actions match up to your faith confessions, and in a year or two, only thing you'll do, you get license plates and you'll write on it, told you. That's it. But you get that confidence in you. Don't get an ego, but get confidence. You understand that? You know you're going to make it. When you know you're going to make it, you pick that phone up and you say, look here, I need to talk to you. Oh, man, something great going on. Do you realize that the interest rate is at the lowest it's ever been? You didn't know that? You ain't with the right people. We would keep the information because I'm a geek on information anyway. Do you understand that? I've been blessed to be around wealthy people, people that's far even more wealthier than me. I sit around them and I listen, and I'm going back to JMG Network people, and I'm like, I'm blowing my horn. And I'm going to watch planes from now on too. I'm like, what's the plane doing? What you doing? What's this guy with the guns doing? Look at this. Because all of that matters. Can you imagine what you could start right here for you and your family? You're blessed, and you can't stop it. You got to get that attitude. You got to believe it. You got to have faith. You got to go out and know that I don't care what they bring up in business. I'm like, unless they selling oxygen and there's no other oxygen on the planet, then we got the best thing out there. You understand? This ain't forget sliced bread. I eat the whole thing. You know, this is the best thing out here, because it is the only thing that everyone has to, without a choice, be a part. The minute you are born in this country with no choice, his son was born a month ago, with no choice of his son had a certificate of title given to him. And if you look on there, if you really look, he thinks he owns his son. Let him mess up. You understand that? You mess up, somebody comes in there called protection, children's protection, and they take your babies. Do you understand this? Because we are all like ward of the state, if you want to look at it that way. Just take matters in your hands now. Go build this thing. You ain't in one of those little pyramid things. You are in a business that is growing. At the best time in American business history, you are a part of something that is relevant and tied to the growth of the economy. The better we do, it don't matter. Things are good, great, we win. Things bad, great, we win. Why? Everyone needs our product. It doesn't take any selling. It just takes you explaining. And as Pastor said earlier, as well as child, you got to be passionate. You got to be excited. You got to have that extra thing about you. But I'm telling you this, you can't go, then stop. Because that negative that's watching you, they're going to notice every time you stop. You're like, see, you ain't even doing it no more. The guy in the company I went stopped. He tried to sue the company. This is real talk. He tried to sue Excel because his position wasn't active anymore. Because he could not believe that the guy, Paul Jones, that he signed up, actually became a #7 global income earner in that company. But he couldn't see 3 years down the line. It took me 3 years to make my first million in accumulation. Do y'all get that? So if we say September 1st, you started, 2012. Well, that means by 2015, September 1st, you should be walking around and we should be able to say this guy's made at least $1 million in the last 3 years. This plan is in line with that. And you know, it only increases. It only gets better. Y'all get this? So again, you went on a cruise because you're going to be making money. Everybody that's on a cruise, it just means you got a nice check. The cruise is just a perk for you getting paid. You are in business to get paid, right? Anybody here not to get paid? You are here to get paid. You go get other folks and you tell them, hey, you got to go to work anyway. It isn't going to hurt you to speak to some people consistently. If you speak to 3 people, and it ain't talking in business, it's setting appointments. You set an appointment, set an appointment, set an appointment, set an appointment. On the 4th day, you got 4 or 5 different appointments. That could be a Tuesday night. Then they come, they get in. And utilize the videos. I'm sorry, for me, I'm visual, okay? And I sit on there and I look at William like, and he'd be like, let me show you my crib. I'm just like, boy, that's just, you know, and I love the part when they're like, this is my son's room, it's off limits. You know, and the way the thing pans down and you just see the house and even the little girls dancing on the TV, and I'm like, man, that's done so right. You know, we pay for that, right? Use it. Don't sit there and be like, oh, this is great, these people in our company. No, you use that because that tells people, you don't have to go give them a dollar amount of what someone's making, who cares? It tells them and shows them people make money in our company. That's why you bring them to Tuesday night, because you know they're going to be there. When you sign up new reps, you want them to come to Saturday morning because you know I'm going to be there. You know, I want to shake everybody's hands. I have, as you can tell, I come up here like this. I have no pride. You get it? I was like, man, I need to change of clothes. I'm like, man, I'm fixing to go to training. They're going to have to love me as is. Come as you are, right? But we here, and we're a team, we're a family, and I see y'all as family. So therefore, the same way I tell my kids, you cannot play around with this. If I'm training my daughter for Harvard, Princeton, and Yale, can you really imagine what it's like for me with her behind closed doors? I'm like, hey, you got to be. Well, let's grade on a curve. Forget a curve. You get an A. He's like, why? The kids in China and India are who you're competing with. Forget these kids in Lakeville. It's like, why? Because one day, daddy's not going to be here. So therefore, when that GDP, that gross national product kicks in, and there's services being rendered in other countries, they need to call my babies and say, hey, we need your service. And it can't be, well, I'm the best in the neighborhood. No, you got to be the best in the world. So if I'm training my own children to be the best in the world and I see y'all as family, then I'm saying I'm waging war on all the other network marketing companies. And here's the beauty, and I'm going to tell y'all this. I can change this company to be whatever we want it to be at the drop of a dime. There's no such thing of a better company because they have too much bureaucracy. I can get a call from Brother Lockett. Brother, I think we should do this. I'm like, you know, that's a great idea. All right, I'm going to tell the programmers to get started. Within a week or two, it can be done. Because we're still, it's a 4-year-old debt-free company, but we're still at the beginning. So it's no such thing if this company is better. Somebody want a certain peel of powder, I'll go put JMG Body Works. I own that brand anyway. All right, we can sell that. You gonna sell it? You get my point? There's no way a company's gonna be better than us because I move too fast, right? It's impossible. So we are in control of our company. I'm just not, I don't have no pride. I don't have no ego. So I'm gonna come around you. Why? Because I want to hear you. I want to talk to you. I'm not gonna speak down on you. I'm gonna speak up to you. I'm like, what we doing? What y'all doing next? What the people like? What's the streets doing? What's happening out there? And then it's like, and then I know, I'm like, oh, no, that ain't gonna last. There's so many. I tell you, guys was calling me on this Zeke Rewards thing. I'm just gonna go there. And I'm like, what? No, man, that ain't gonna last. That ain't gonna last. Paulie, I'm telling you, this is good, man. That ain't gonna last. And then don't call me about it no more. I love you though. 3 weeks ago, shut down. And I'm like, you know what the call I got? Not, I need to sign up for JMD Network. Man, how did you know? I'm like, how did I know? I'm like, thank you, Lord. I'm just gonna stay right on my beaten path right here, because you can go for all this other stuff and they're fads. Don't be a product of a fad. You know, bell bottoms at one time was a fad, right? Disco one time was a fad. You want to be a part of something that's not a fad. See, think about it. When them girls, rock and roll chicks had the big hair, remember that? People still had to pay taxes. Right? When they went to the big bell bottoms and the big stack shoes, songs in the back, you know what I'm saying? Wallace laughing because he picturing himself back there. I see it. Old school, right? You still had to pay taxes, though, didn't you? You still had to manage that budget, didn't you? You get my point? It doesn't matter what waves go on around. They can knock the Twin Towers down. You still got to pay taxes in your bills. That's why I say we're relevant. We're not going to be something. I remember 3-4 years ago, everybody's like, the travel business, you know, and I'm just like, wow, now nobody's talking about that today. They still got to pay taxes. We are a relevant company. Don't you doubt it. You're going to be a millionaire only if you do the work. And I desire you to do the work, because I am going to work hard to make sure our company makes it. There are so many things from networking and being engaged with other people that we can do. And all we got to do is raise ourselves up. We're already there. It's just a matter of everybody got to just get it in their head and be like, you know what? I'm fixing to go out here and do this. Put a little time in, a little sweat equity. The next thing you know, people are going to be saying, how'd you do it? They're going to call you a business genius. That's why every time somebody try to call me that, Paul Jones is self-made, he's a business guru, and I'm like, stop that. No, I'm not. I had a lot of people tell me no. I had a lot of people look at me funny, ask me dumb questions like, how did you do that? What you mean? Live in $1 million house? Drive nice cars and have custom-made clothes? How can I do that? Give my mother a Cadillac? Pay her house off? How can I do that? What kind of, did you just ask me? How can I do that? Send a whole bunch of total strangers' kids to college, period, and pay for it, and not have no strings attached and say, here you go. I've given away more money than most people could imagine making in a year. And then people have the audacity to say, how could you do that? They don't even realize what they're asking me. I'm like, you saw what I see. You'd be saying, how can I not do it? I know why we're here. I know we're going to be a blessing on it. And all I'm doing is I'm hoping today we're to say, you know what? It's time for us to go take this serious. Look people in the eye. You ain't no chump out here. You got a great company. Go out there and prove it. Have a good day.
All right.
Living life by design and not from crisis to crisis.